before we start this podcast, I had my notes here, and I guess me and you need to give a bit of a shout out to our man Braden in New South Wales. He sent through a few templates, which we'll see online shortly, and snazz up our videos a little bit. So, cheers, mate. We appreciate the support and reaching out and just going, hey, someone's out there, really, a really real human watching us. Yeah, it's funny how the NBA landscape changes over the course of the season. 82 games is a long schedule. And I guess I'm going to say it now, and I know it's towards the end of the season, but Jokic is not going to win the MVP. It's going to be an extremely close vote, but with everything that's shaking out now, and obviously we know there's three front runners, which includes Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid, which I picked at the start, okay, of the season to maybe get his first MVP. I think it's going to go down to either Giannis or Embiid.
I had this as a take and then I scratched it because I probably didn't have the stats or, I guess the gumption to actually talk about it just yet. But I felt the same. I felt that the race is a lot closer than it's probably being led to believe. I think the straw poll that occurred a couple of weeks ago, or was it over a month, but it really led the impression that Jokic is going to run away with this third MVP. And there's a lot of interesting analytics, and an advanced analytics person would say that, he's a clear favorite. But I think there's the eye test that's starting to creep in here a little bit. And I think there's the historical significance that's preventing people from wanting to give Jokic his third MVP because
Mm.
we are talking about an incredibly offensive orientated player and something that we haven't seen in terms of like the metrics from an offensive player since like Wilt Chamberlain, with the per 36 or the assists or field goals or whatever it is. But defensively, we're not talking about a very high caliber player. And that's where Embiid and Giannis instantly eclipse him. We're talking about very competitive records across the three, and we're talking about serious championship aspirations for all three. But I think if you actually ask people right now, you have to eliminate one of those three teams to win the championship. I'd actually say that Philly and Nuggets would be competing for that third spot, but the Bucks would be a clear favorite to go through. And I think there's going to be the expectation we can't give a third MVP in a row to a guy that we're not confident is going to make it out of the first or second round, and especially with the way that the West is shaking up, and the games that they're dropping too. Like there's got to be some recency bias that comes in here. It's a close competitive race. They're losing. He's getting defended well and not converting on shots in last minutes and losing to teams like Brooklyn and I believe to the Magic. Did they beat them as well? Like there was a game that they dropped that they shouldn't.
Look, they've definitely gone to a slide at the wrong time of the year for Jokic and his MVP case in that sort of sense. They're probably still going to get the first seed in the West still, because they were so many games up. But I think Jokic numbers have also dropped in this last few months. In this slide as well, and his numbers are down from last year's numbers now. He was averaging I think about 26 points a game, and we probably talked about him in the new year. In about January, and now in late March, he's down to about 24 and a half points a game. He's about two rebounds less per game. He's about two assists more, and he's no longer averaging that triple double. I was actually looking at that stat the other day, and he was about six assists behind to average that triple double sort of requirement, which will be achievement in itself, I guess, since Westbrook did that, I think 3 years in a row or so, and that 1 year at Washington as well. So, but yeah, it's I think some of these things that are sort of not coming together at the right time for Jokic, to get over the line, like you're touching upon. And I think Embiid, I think, is odds-on favorite now. And Giannis is obviously closing in at the moment, and the Bucks have the best record in the East. Look, I don't know. I guess it's really coming down to this sort of tight finish, and I think it could be one of the closest votes, in many years. I think, this year, but I don't think Jokic will win it.
And if he does win it, I think, in the wise words of Kendrick Perkins, you can come to your own conclusions. I guess that might be what ends up happening.
Yo, this is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist in giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.